Okay, so I got my 2008 Skidoo XP 800. My throttle cable is breaking, so I thought I'd do a video of replacing my throttle cable. Never done one before, so I figured it'd be something new. So we're going to start by taking both side panels off, and we'll get right into it. I was doing some reading online, and people were saying you got to remove the secondary clutch, the carburetors, airbox, and the intakes, the reed valves. So that's what I'm gonna do. Start with taking the secondary clutch off. To pull the secondary clutch off, I've never done it before, but I believe you just have to remove this nut, which takes this plate off so the bearing can come out this way. And I'm going to take this plug out, and I believe we can just take a bolt out, and then we'll stick a bolt back in so we don't drop the gear and a spacer down into the chain case. So we'll do that. So I'm just going to pop this plug out with a screwdriver, and I'll take that bolt and washer off. Okay, so I'm just going to take a 16mm socket and zap that bolt off. Be sure we don't drop that washer down in the chain case. So behind the sprocket in there is a spacer, and Skidoo actually makes a tool that threads into the shaft, so when you pull the shaft out the other side, you don't drop the spacer in the gear. Basically just a 3/4 inch shaft they have with a bolt sticking out the end. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna use this 3/4 inch bolt and push the shaft out the other way. So that's what I'm gonna do. First I have to take that keeper off the bearing on this side, so that's what we'll do next. Okay, so what I did was I threaded the bolt back down without the washer on it. Now I'm just hitting it with a punch with my bolt, and it seems to be coming out. That worked good. I just kept hitting this bolt until the shaft popped out the back, and I can reach around and feel that this bolt right here is holding up the gear and the spacer that is behind the gear. You don't want to drop those in down the chain case, so just leave that bolt there to hold those up until we're ready to put it back together. And go around to the other side, pull that out, probably replace this bearing. Now probably pull this bracket off, pull the airbox, carbs off. That's what we'll do next. Okay, so on the airbox I got the top disconnected. Now you just kind of push that to the side, and then the airbox pulls right out. I'll pull the carbs off. Okay, I pulled those screws loose, and I can just pull this off the carbs. Now I just pull everything loose off the carbs, the fuel line, throttle cable, choke cable, and the wires. Then we'll pull the carbs off. So I pulled the 2 clamps loose on the carbs. I was able to pull the carbs back, take the fuel line loose from there. Now there's 2 plugs on the carb I gotta take loose, and I'll take the throttle and choke cable off, and the carbs will be off. Okay, so I got the carbs off. I actually decided to take this off too. Just a couple nuts down here, take that nut loose, take 1 bolt out of here, give us some more room. Now I'm going to take the intake boots, reed valves off. Just going to put a socket in there, take those off. Okay, so I got the intakes off, the reed valves, took the fuel pump loose, put it out of the way. Now we can get to the cable for the oiler down there. So we got to take a E-clip off the end right there. Then we'll take the nuts loose right there, and then the oil cable will be loose. So that's what we'll do next. Okay, so I got the nut loose. It slid down the cable. And for the E-clip, I just pulled it loose with a pick and then pulled it out with a magnet. And there's also a washer on there. So you gotta pull the E-clip, then the washer off. And now I just have to fish the end of the cable off of the oiler lever. So make sure you kind of take note of where the oiler lever position is at, so that way you adjust it back to the same spot. This thing's a real bugger to get out of the lever. So what I did was just tied it up with a piece of wire, the lever, else it flops down. Then I was able to get the cable out of the lever with a screwdriver. So that's how I did that. Okay, so I popped the cable loose at the top. Now we'll just fish her down and out of here. Before I put it back all together, I figured I'd check the length of the cable, make sure I got the right one. That looks good. So I matched the ends of the oiler cable up and adjusted the adjuster to make sure I got the oiler back in the same place. So now I'm gonna go install the new cable on the sled. Okay, so using a screwdriver and a long pair of needle nose, I was able to fish the cable end back on the oiler lever. Then I stuck some rags down there, so in case if I dropped the washer or the E-clip, they wouldn't fall very far. And so I got the washer on and the E-clip on. Now I just have to hook those nuts back up and tighten them down. Okay, got the nut tightened down, got everything hooked up down there. Now I'm going to start putting the reed valve intakes back on, put the carbs on, bolt the fuel pump back into place, put the air box on. I got the cable all hooked up here, and then we'll put the jack shaft bracket back on. Got the carbs on, got the jack shaft bracket on. Now we're just going to slide the jack shaft back into place, and we have to carefully slide it into the chain case, replacing this bolt and being careful not to drop the spacer that's behind the gear, the sprocket. There's a spacer back there, so we have to slide the jack shaft through the spacer, through the gear, and just do that very carefully. Okay, so that worked really good. I was able to slide the shaft right through the spacer and the sprocket, and I just used a rubber hammer. I was able to tap the clutch and jack shaft back into place. So. Okay, we put the bearing holder back in place and tighten the nut down. Now I go around to the other side and put the bolt and washer back on the jack shaft to hold the sprocket on. Okay, that's just about it. We just gotta put the belt back on, put the plug in the end of the chain case, and put the covers back on, and that's it. I hope this video helps someone out replacing their throttle cable on their Skidoo, and thanks for watching.